Welcome everybody back to Steehn versus Machine. Week, is it 13? Man, am I crazy? No, It's week 12. Gotta be week 12. Sorry. Of course, welcome to Steehn versus Machine. I'm your host with the most, Truman the Steehnmachine Steehn. As always, I'm joined by the lead handicapper over at Winners and Winers, Scott the Steamroller Steehn. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there. Celebrating, still resting on my laurels.
Yeah, you had a great week, my friend.
Right, I'm ready to retire. I think I don't think I'm positive, so I think I'm not gonna make any picks for the rest of the season. I think is the only fair thing here.
Go out on top. That's the theory right there. So yeah, you're 5-0. It's our first 5-0 of either one of us this year. So
right,
congratulations. We needed it as a show, and we both needed it personally, but you less than I did. But I'm coming. I was close.
Yeah.
I was close.
Oh yeah. You were close. We'll get into all it all. It's 5-0. Also had a great Thanksgiving. Finally, feel like I finally hit a good turkey. I feel like I hadn't done it. It's been a while since I'd really knocked a turkey out of the park.
Knocked it out of the park. As somebody who partook of that turkey, I will give you turkey props, man. Your turkey was 5-0 as well. That was was perfect turkey. Juicy bird there, buddy.
Yeah.
Juicy bird.
Well, I can't imagine. We were talking about this last night. I was sitting around Thanksgiving. I can't imagine the risk of deep frying a turkey. I can't imagine it being good enough to justify the threat of burning down your house.
I think it's a macho thing. You have to prove that you can beat the fire, and you can. All those idiots there on all those videos burning their house down with the turkeys. You're smarter than that. I think you got to prove. I think it's something to prove.
I guess, man. Just get a bigger pot. Defrost get a bigger pot. Put it in the oven.
Here's an idea. Go to Popeyes.
Yeah.
Popeyes will they sell turkeys. They sell deep fried turkeys.
Do they really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
You just amaze people. You could fill that pot up with like water or something. Everybody comes over. You pull the turkey out. Like, look what I got here. Deep fried turkey. How about that?
Whoa.
Didn't even say anything on fire.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to get one more play here, my friend. I've got Mizzou. They're clinging to a 2-point lead with 2 seconds left.
Oh.
Arkansas's got the ball at their own 32, so they would really have to out Mizzou themselves here to lose. What could possibly go wrong?
Truly, as somebody who's also, of course, K-State plays on Saturday. They play KU. If they win, they're in the Big 12 championship game. If they lose, Texas goes instead. I was talking to an older coworker who's been a K-State fan for, he went to K-State in his 20s and now he's almost 80 or whatever. And he was talking about, he said, the thing about K-State is they'll line you up, they'll get you perfectly set up, they'll get you all hyped up, and then they'll give you a good old KITN, kick in the nuts. I said, God, I'm scared, man. But I said, as a Mizzou fan growing up, I understand a good kick in the nuts. So.
That was a yearly, if not more often occurrence, no question about it. So
I told him about skipping going to the 2 versus 3 border war to go and watch Mizzou get blown out in the Big 12 championship game after they had a halftime lead. I think that's the craziest part. Is as a 12-year-old, all I remember was getting boat raced by Oklahoma, and then I look back at it and they were up. Mizzou was up at halftime.
14-10 or something like that.
Yeah, 13 or. Yeah,
7. I can't remember what it was.
Like maybe 17-14, and I think they ended up losing 38-14 or something.
Yeah, that was Sam Bradford, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Sam Bradford, was it?
That feels right.
Okay.
No, wait. Not 2008. It's 2009, right?
Oh, yeah, the game would have been in 2009. It was a 2008 season.
No, but so the Big 12 championship game would have been in 2008.
That'd be before. Yeah, obviously before New Year's Eve. Yeah, you're right.
Wait, no, I think it was 2007.
So 2007 was the good season.
Yeah, it's 2007. I'm looking at 2008, and they also lost to Oklahoma, but it was championship game, Big 12 championship
You
game.
realize you and I are the only ones that care about this right now.
Well, you know,
anyone watching.
hey, to be fair, we're the ones who care about this show. This show.
Well, maybe we'll
I know.
start to generate some buzz now.
Yes. No, sorry. It was tied 14-14 at halftime. And then Oklahoma wins scored 14 points in the third, 10 points in the fourth, and Mizzou scored 3 points in the fourth quarter, and that was it. 38-17 is correct. But
oh, that is the worst trophy I have ever seen. The Battle Line trophy. Looks like you know that meme where they go, here, take your L, and they're just tossing the L's.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's exactly what it looks like. It's like a long like a railroad tie painted yellow, and it's got a little boot on it. It's not quite a full L. I don't even know what it's supposed to be.
Oh, I see it now. No,
it's ridiculous.
It's the Missouri. It's the entire state of Missouri and the entire state of Arkansas, and they got a little battle line they put in between, and you get to put in your color. So they have the Missouri color. They're going to put it into the state's trophy. Okay. It's the battle line.
It's so stupid.
Wow, that does look really stupid. And there's a picture of Locke standing with it to make it look even stupider. That's really funny.
Nobody at Mizzou and nobody at Arkansas in the entire either state gives a shit about. There's no rivalry between Missouri and Arkansas. You get to southern Missouri, you don't even know when you're in central Arkansas or northern Arkansas.
It's true.
You're just like, you know the difference? Because once you're in Missouri, there's liquor stores. There's last chance liquor. Better get your liquor now. Don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
And then you hit Arkansas. It's nothing, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
But the thing is though, once you find a liquor store in Arkansas, they're really cool. Like we went to one, we could do beer tastings and shit.
Yeah.
Like, what does this taste like? Oh, that's a nice little beer. You can't do that in Missouri. You got to run out with your brown bag in your hand and the hood over your head.
Well, I've been to liquor store tastings.
Yeah, it's organized events. This is just you walk in there and go, "I like to taste this." They're like, "Sure, go ahead."
Oh yeah, no, it's like
I'm not talking about the Friday night tasting for the VIPs. I'm talking about just Joe Schmo off the street going, "I'd like to fucking taste that beer." Well, here you go.
Give me this beer. Can I try this?
Exactly.
Damn. All right. Well,
exactly.
You're making the best case for Arkansas I've ever heard, and it's still not a great one to say.
Go down there and hang out with their new governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. What could go wrong?
Oh, Jesus. All right. You know what? We're going to move on.
Yeah, let's talk some football.
You know what? Let's talk some football instead. Scott,
What's shit to do? What?
I went 5-0 last week, Scott. I had the
shit, I didn't know that.
I had the Commanders, Texans under 41. I had the Jets, New England under 38.5. I had Cleveland, Buffalo over 49.5. Vegas, Denver under 41.5. Kansas City, Chargers under 51.5. The only one I really had to sweat out was Cleveland Buffalo. And I'll tell you what, that was a perfect game for me. I do a whole system. I do the whole system went 7-3 last week. Yeah, but I had Buffalo minus 7.5. But I also had the over. And with like 2 minutes left, it's at 44. Buffalo kicks a field goal. It's at 47, and they're up 15 on Cleveland. Cleveland drives down the field beautifully, scores a touchdown like 12 seconds left, kicks the extra point. Fuck yeah. Do not kick. Do not, go for, do not even try to go for two. It's not happening. I know it'd bring you within 7.
Not following those analytics, huh?
Nope. And so
analytics say go for 8, go for the 2-pointer the first time.
Yeah, so Buffalo wins by 8. Holds off the backdoor cover, and they hit the over. It was incredible. They scored 10 points in the last 2 minutes to hit the over for me, so I really appreciate it.
Outstanding. So, you and I were talking before the show with the Missouri victory. It sets up a possibility of one of the great matchups of all time in the Liberty Bowl.
If I was any bowl organizer, I would have sent my invitations now.
Rock Chalk and MIZ, baby.
Dude, that'd be incredible. I mean,
getting together on the gridiron.
And what a deserving in a deserving football, deserving town for 6-6 bowl games against each other in Memphis, Tennessee.
There's some barn burners in Memphis, no question about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I went 5-0. Scott, pretty good week for yourself too. You had 3-0-1. You had the Carolina, Baltimore first half under 21. Damn, Scott, take out the first half. Let's just do under 21, huh?
3-1-1.
What?
3-1-1, not 3-0-1.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 3-1-1. But yeah, you had the Carolina
Yeah, that was
Baltimore first half under 21. I
just put all 5 units on that.
yeah. I would have just you could have bet the total for the game like that, right? It was not close. Right? It was 13-3. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3-3. I want to say at least late in the third quarter, if not into the fourth quarter, it was 3-3.
I'm pretty sure it was into the fourth quarter, yeah.
Oh yeah, it worked out well. I felt good about that one.
Or no, yeah. No, it was 3-0 at halftime. 3-3 after the third, and then Baltimore scored 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Exploded for 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Jesus.
Yeah, outstanding.
You also had the Commanders -3. That was never in threat.
Nope.
You had the Bears +3. There's your push.
Oh.
For everybody wondering, they were up. God, I felt like they were up late, right?
They were.
Well, and Atlanta. Well, Justin Fields gets shaken up. Atlanta drives down the field, kicks a field goal. Ugh, brutal. The Bears, it's crazy. Everybody's falling in love with Justin Fields, and they still can't win a game.
Can't win a game. Putting up incredible stats. They're covering. Not winning. Not winning.
No.
Oh.
You did have the Broncos -2.5. That was an incredible way to lose a game there. You should have been 4-0-1, to be honest.
It was a great bet for about 50 minutes.
Yeah.
55 minutes, and then Denver decided, we don't want to play more defense. That's it.
We're all right. You know what? I appreciate Denver taking that and taking that L, helping us out. I think that'll keep Josh hopefully, I think maybe they're playing the long game of trying to keep Josh McDaniels employed a little bit longer and give themselves more of a reason to fire Nathaniel Hackett. I think they're playing the long game. I think you sacrifice this L for a couple W's down the road.
Okay. You're playing 5D chess there, buddy.
Yeah. Well, they still have Russell Wilson for 5 more years, so
they do.
I don't think it's going to help them any. You had the Chargers +5 also. Chiefs famously scoring a touchdown in the last minute to go up 3, which was just enough.
Just enough. That was the perfect ending for me as a Chiefs fan. And as a Chargers better, that worked out really well.
Well, you had a feeling once the Chargers scored. I think I don't think anybody thought that game was over. I don't think anybody said, you know what? I bet it's over.
They leave him a minute and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that concerned me was that Mahomes really hadn't had that drive this year. He'd had 2 opportunities to do it against Buffalo. Later, let's start. He had the opportunity against Indianapolis. They got that stupid ass personal foul on Chris Jones. They go down there and score with like 30 seconds left, and he throws him almost in the field goal position, and he forces the ball, and it's intercepted, and they lose that game to the Colts. And then he has about a minute and a couple timeouts left against Buffalo, and he just double clutches on a throw, throws a pick. It was terrible. So.
Just chonked it, yeah.
So it was great to see them actually do one and get it executed. But they only win by 3. They don't cover. Chargers +5 hits. I guess that touchdown at the end also cashed my over, too. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Because I had the over 51.5, and they were at 50 before that, but then they end up at 57. So.
A lot of people in a lot of places rooting for that touchdown there, my friend.
Right. And I have it written down as under 51.5, but I did say the over last week, and I did bet the over. So just want to clarify that in case people are looking at this like, whoa, wait. No. Just go back. All right. So I netted +5 units, obviously, +500, 5-0. Brings my season record to 28, 26-1. I'm finally positive at +003. I'm plus
Beautiful.
0.03 units, but I'm positive. Finally on the show. I've been positive pretty much all since week 6 for my system, so it's been frustrating to not be positive on the show. But now I'm positive.
Okay.
And you, Scott, plus 3-1-1, plus 185. You're netting negative 1066. It's about 10 units. Your season record's 23-31-1. But you're trending. You're trending the right way.
We're rallying. We got that rally going.
Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know?
That's right.
That's right. All right. So, we'll move on to this week's picks. Make it, take it. I remembered that. So I will not remember the name of your show, as always. Maybe, I don't know. I went 5-0. Maybe this is the week I hit both of them also. Maybe this is it.
Okay.
All right.
See what happens.
It's betting, not gambling. Betting, not gambling. Okay, here we go. My first pick of the week. I have the Denver, Carolina under 36.5 at -112. Scott, this is two terrible teams. This is two terrible offenses. There's really no way around it. Defensive wise, Denver's still got a pretty great defense. Even without Bradley Chubb, they've still been able to kind of keep themselves fairly consistent. And we're still seeing some pretty good stuff from them there on defense. Obviously, that under hit pretty strongly. And Carolina's offense has been terrible. But don't worry, they're fixing everything by switching to Sam Darnold. Great.
Slinging Sammy Darnold are coming back.
Yeah, they have the second worst offense in the NFL, according to my metrics. The only offense being worse than them is the Houston Texans. Give me... but the Denver, also a bottom 5 offense. Yeah, give me the under 36.5. I know you were talking about... it was 35 earlier in the week, and somehow it got pushed up to 36.5 here.
That's Sam Darnold's team right there, man.
That's that Sam Darnold.
Darnold starting? Fuck, we're gonna get on that.
Oh, hell yeah. This opened as 36.5. It stayed there. Got to be one of the lowest lines of the year, if not the lowest. But
yes.
But I think they're still probably 20 points too high, if I had to guess. So yeah,
fair enough.
Give me Denver, Carolina under 36.5. This is where you take the under 21 points scored again that you saw in your Baltimore Carolina game last week. All right, Scott.
For first half unders for that Baltimore team. That's been a cash cow, and Carolina as well. That's both of them great trending first half under teams.
I saw Buffalo is incredible in the second quarter. I think I saw when I was watching that on Thursday morning. They were talking about how Josh Allen's thrown 10 touchdowns in the second quarter, and this is a guy who coming into that game had thrown 21 or 22. So he thrown almost half his touchdowns in the second quarter, which is just weird to think about. So
it really is.
In that big second quarter, they took the lead, but man, that was a close game there. Okay, sorry. Scott brings us to your first pick of the week. You are on the other side. You were mentioning that we mentioned the Carolina-Baltimore game last week, and you're taking Ravens -3.5 over the Jags.
I am. This is mainly a pick against the Jags. Obviously the Ravens didn't show much offensive prowess last week, putting just 13 points on the board. But Jaguars season has really gone off the rails. They were 2-1 to start the season, straight up and against the number. And then they were averaging 28 points a game. Everything was great. Last 7 games have averaged 18.4 points per game. That ain't good. And surprisingly, they have gone 0-7 straight up and against the number. The important part to know about the Jaguars: when they don't win, they don't cover. So if you think the Jaguars are going to win, sure, go ahead and load up. If you think Baltimore is going to win this game, you might as well bet them to cover the spread. Don't mess around with the money line. And the Ravens -3.5.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I think before they played the Chiefs, they mentioned that every Jacksonville game had been decided by one score until they played the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs beat them, and they pretty much every Jacksonville loss had been decided by one score. Sorry, and then they played the Chiefs. Chiefs beat them by 10, and I feel like that's kind of taken the lid off. And obviously, the Baltimore only has to beat them by one score. Baltimore struggling on offense, but I think I'm still going to be right there with you. I have Baltimore favored by about 6.5 in my system. So yeah, I like the Baltimore -3.5 pick there.
All right.
Which moves me on to my second pick of the week. I have a Chicago New York Jets under 39. Stop me if you've heard this before, but this is two terrible offenses. One with a quarterback who just switched. Yes, the Jets, of course, believe they're not starting Joe Flacco. It's right. They're starting somebody else even.
They're Mike White.
I saw Zach Wilson will be inactive.
Yes.
Joe Flacco will serve as the backup.
Oh my God, they're going to start Mike White.
Yes.
That's their third string quarterback.
That's what I've heard.
So he won a game last year. I think he had a good first game or a good first 2 games and kind of turned into Mike White again.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mike White's in. Zach Wilson's on the bench. Joe Flacco's backing up. And on Chicago, what is it? Justin Fields had a separated shoulder last week. and he sounds like he's still going to play somehow.
That was the weirdest when they interviewed the coach, Eberflus, and he said, "Is he going to play?" Like, we don't know. Well, what do you for about the rest of the season? Well, we can't rule out him missing the rest of the season. So he's like questionable for the game,
but he could
also
play.
questionable for the rest of the season. So, yeah, it's very weird. Keep an eye on that. I don't hate that play with or without Fields. I don't even know who's backing up Fields. Yeah, I think I looked this up.
Nick Foles is on that team.
Oh
no.
yeah,
no, or is Nick Foles? No, No, I'm confused. Nick Foles was in Indy,
Washington. Right? Indy, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Wentz was in Washington. Sorry.
Yeah, those guys will always be tied together.
Yeah, the ex-Philly guys kind of just run together for me because they both suck right now.
God, you could tell me. It's crazy that we haven't even thought about who the backup quarterback. Oh, Trevor Siemian. Oh my God.
That's right. We did talk about this. On the NFL show, we did talk about Trevor Siemian because I made Mason guess. He's from Denver. I tried to make him guess who the backup quarterback was and he couldn't get it.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, well, it's somebody that should be near and dear to your heart, sir. Trevor Siemian. All right. So my pick, I'm going to give us our first consensus pick of the week. I'm also going with the Broncos Panthers under. You brought up a lot of great points. This Denver defense still number one scoring defense in the NFL, and they're 9-1 to the under. You know, if you like trends, there's a good one for you. Now they're going up against this Carolina team that is horrific, average less than 19 points per game, and about half of those games were with McCaffrey. Don't forget, did not score a touchdown last week, as we touched on. I can't imagine another way to play this game other than the under.
Nice.
And yes, hold off till game time. Maybe that Darnold money will keep pouring in there, and you can get this up to a 37 and a half.
Wow, yeah, that'd be really fantastic. That'd really make me feel better getting it up to 37. So
yeah, no kidding.
Well, Scott, that brings us to my third pick of the week. I have the Raiders Seahawks over 47 and a half. It's just a weird. Seattle's offense is it's taken a step back a little bit, but they're still performing at a pretty high level. The Raiders have been a little bit better, but what the Raiders do have is the league's worst defense, according to my system. They are last. They are dead last. And I think that leads it to, I think there's going to be a fair amount of points in this game. I don't think Las Vegas is going to win. I think Seattle's going to handle them pretty strongly, if I had to guess. But I have Seattle favored by 12 points here. I think they're going to control a lot of this. I think Seattle's going to put up a lot of points. I think Seattle could put up 30 plus in this game. And I think you could count on the Vegas to show up for at least 10 to 17. And I think if they get there, I think if you see Vegas in double digits, I like my odds on this hidden for the Raiders Seahawks over 47 and a half. So yeah, give me that at over 47 and a half. Vegas, Seattle, over.
All right, very good. I'm going to also take an over with this pick, and it's going to be from the Texans-Dolphins game. Houston defense. They may not be the worst, but they ain't too far from it. They are last in rushing yards allowed, 26th in passing yards allowed. So consistency, very important to the Texans. Fat, drunk, and a bad defense, no way to go through life, son. But the Fish, well, they struggle also against the run, and the Texans got their hotshot rookie there. I expect them to rebound at least a little bit from a just dreadful offensive performance last week. I think the Dolphins defense will give them a little bit of a window. Obviously, the Dolphins are going to have to do most of the heavy lifting in this one, being a 12.5 point favorite. But I think they do. I think this is a Dolphins defense that is capable of putting up 31 plus, or Dolphins offense rather, put 31 plus, and that should give us plenty of room. This one over 46 could be a garbage backdoor at the end too for us.
I thought you had said you wanted. I thought you wanted Miami side there.
Oh, you're right. I lied.
But hey, I like the over there too. I don't blame you there. Yes. My only concern for your over is Davis Mills is not starting. I'm not sure that's a big problem, but
you're right. Change that to 12.5. A lot of the points still stand.
Well, 13 and a half, but yeah.
Yeah. So, Dolphins defense struggle against the run, so it won't be a blowout. Won't be 41-0 or anything, but they should still be able to get the cover. There's no way that the Texas offense is going to be able to keep pace with them. It's not going to happen. So.
Gotcha. All right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm still liking there. You can switch it if you like. Would you rather have the over?
No.
All right.
No, that's totally fine.
Fair enough. All right. For my fourth pick, I have the Rams Kansas City over. I got this all the way down to 41.5. Listen, I guess the argument is that it's going to be tough for the Chiefs to put up 42 on their own, maybe. And I only say maybe. Juju's back. That's huge. Travis Kelce's been playing very well. You saw some emergence with Sky Moore last week for the Chiefs. And as much as the Rams defense was the reason they won the Super Bowl last year, not very good this year. I've got them ranked as my, fifth worst defense.
Yeah, they haven't been good.
No.
A lot of injuries.
The fifth worst defense going against the top offense in the league by my system. And, listen, Kansas City's defense isn't anything to be proud of. They're a bottom 6 defense in my system. But I think that lends itself well to this. I think the Rams aren't going to score many. But again, another one where I think if that team is in double digits, I think you can expect the over to hit because I expect Kansas City to put up at least 32. So yeah, give me Rams Chiefs. Give me over 41.5 at -110.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You know who's playing quarterback for the Rams?
Oh, is the backup back in, or is it the guy from last week?
It looks like it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be Wolford again. It looks like he does not carry it.
He got over.
He's not carried. As of today, he does not carry an injury designation. So,
okay, all right.
It was going to be Bryce Perkins. That's what I was going to see if you.
Yeah,
Bryce.
We talked about it on Monday, but the name Bryce Perkins immediately left my brain, as it should. So
he's listed as second on the depth chart. So we'll see how that goes. I don't really care. He was 5 for 10 last week. He got sacked 3 times. 3 times did he get sacked?
Yeah.
By the way, Chiefs have 32 sacks through 10 games right now. They had 31 all year last year.
Yeah, they've almost had as many 5-sack games as they had 3+ sack games last year. So, and it's week, and they've played 10 games. So,
right,
pretty good. What was the only weird thing about this? The only thing that concerns me as a Chiefs fan is that the last 2 Super Bowl the only 2 Super Bowl defending champions to have been underdogs by 14.5, both won their games outright.
Okay.
But both the teams that they won their games against both went to the Super Bowl, which is just weird.
It does have all the earmarks of one of those stupid Chiefs games that are just close for no apparent reason. But
yes, we'll see. But I hope not. I hope they beat the shit out of them.
I agree.
All right, brings us to your fourth pick.
All right, and we're going to take the Seahawks over the Raiders. So I've got this at 3.5. Is that still what you have?
Yes.
Now Seattle, they get 3 points for being the home team, right?
Right.
What the books are telling us here, the Seahawks are a half point better than the Raiders. Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Books haven't believed in Seattle this whole year. I think we've talked about this on the show before. It blows my mind.
And Vegas has been overvaluing the Raiders all season long, as is the natural tendency because, the books obviously, a lot of them emanate out of Las Vegas.
Right.
I think this is a gift. I really do. Las Vegas has beaten just 2 teams this season. They've beaten the Broncos twice, and they've beaten the Texans. That's it. I got nothing else. Give me the Seahawks -3.5 in this one.
Yeah, we talk about teams that you pay a premium on. It's the Yankees, the Cowboys, Any team that's based in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What else is there? I assume Alabama. You probably pay premium on a bit.
Yeah, you see a lot of those 45-point Alabama spreads when they play the Citadel and shit like that. Yeah.
But I can't remember. Is there any other teams I'm forgetting?
Probably, and they're
Maybe
not coming to me right now either. But
maybe
yeah,
like
you're
the
playing.
Lakers probably have a bit of a premium on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's was the Warriors.
Yeah. They get way better lines than they should be. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough. Brings us to our final pick of the week for me. Again, this is all totals for me this week. I went all totals last week and they all hit. So
Right.
I'd complain about it if it wasn't hitting good. But yeah, give me the Pittsburgh Indianapolis under 39.5. Stop me if you've heard this before. Two terrible offenses.
Yep.
Sometimes it is that easy. I have this as Pittsburgh as the fourth worst offense, and Indy is the sixth worst offense. And Pittsburgh I have as a top 12 defense. I have Indy as about a middle of the pack defense. This is two terrible offenses against two good, average to good defenses, and that's styles make fights or whatever. Even with Pittsburgh's offensive explosion last week against a terrible defense in Cincy, I still like Indianapolis and Pittsburgh here to just stay under 39.5. Listen, Kenny Pickett, I don't think he's the answer, man. I know everybody was like, well, you can't keep playing Mitch Trubisky. Well, I don't know if you've seen Kenny Pickett, but he's like Mitch Trubisky, but worse.
Oh, he's not the answer to the question. Unless the question is, what's that guy's from Pitt's name that did the fake slide and then scored a touchdown and isn't very good in the NFL? Oh, yeah, Kenny Pickett. If that's the question, then he's the answer. If it's who's going to lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to glory and many victories, the answer is not Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
The answer is currently not anybody on their roster right now.
Also answers the question of what if who's the quarterback that looks like Morgan Wallen and plays like Morgan Wallen if he was an NFL quarterback? Yeah, that's right. It's Kenny Pickett. Yes, thank you.
Very good.
Give me the under 39.5 there.
Indianapolis is kind of like a mini Denver. The offense isn't quite as bad. The defense isn't quite as good, but they're still 9-2 to the under. Pittsburgh defense has been gashed by good offenses, 37 to Cincy, 35 to Philly, 38 to Buffalo. Not going to have that problem this week.
No.
The Colts would never be confused with a good offense. Yeah, I like that pick. I also made that pick on our show. My final pick is going to be a team that proved to me last week they can cover big numbers. When they play, this is the NFC version of the Chiefs. When they play the best football, they're the best team in the conference by far. But they have a tendency to let down. It's going to be the Niners minus 8.5 over the Saints. Niners have won their last 3 games by an average of 17 points per game. Dalton, I think, controversy down there with him and Winston. I think he is the best quarterback the Saints have right now. Problem is they don't have any good quarterbacks. So you're just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic at this point. The Niners, they're at a different level. I like this offense. McCaffrey, I think, was the final piece that really, really gives them a dynamic chance to do some damage this year in the playoffs. The defense, as always, is stellar. Niners, 8.5. I'll take it.
It's interesting. The Niners are such an interesting team for me. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I can't get behind them. They just don't blow me away, and I don't know what's wrong with my brain that they don't. I don't.
They play some bad games. They look like shit sometimes.
Yeah, but I just but are they the most? They're not. I mean, Philly's probably the most likely team to come out of the NFC, but I'm not sure I love Philly either. I don't love any of the NFC teams.
You line up San Francisco playing their best and Philly playing their best. Philly wins 3 times out of 10.
I would have to agree with you there. I just don't believe Philly's that great. It's weird. I don't know, Scott. Do you think the most likely Super Bowl matchup in your head right now? Obviously this is week 12, but is it a Super Bowl 54 rematch?
Yeah.
Little Chiefs Niners?
Yeah, it is. It is. I worry. I still worry about this Buffalo team, although the defense all of a sudden doesn't look very good for the Bills.
And they can't stay healthy. Obviously, Tre'Davious White's not back yet, but they should get him back. But who knows what he's going to look like, especially
Right.
after it's got to be concerning about how long it's taken him to get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Von Miller looks like he might have dodged a season-ending injury, but that's a looks like. He's, they think he's having a meniscus issue, not an ACL. I saw that report today. He's out at least 7 to 10 days, and the only question is going to be get surgery now or get surgery later. And that. And,
This is. I learned a lot about the meniscus. This is the same problem that Joel Embiid had in the playoffs a couple years ago. Meniscus is just like a flat plate that sits at the joint, and you get a tear in it, and there's nothing you can do except repair it with surgery. But it doesn't really damage anything. It's just it hurts and it's torn, but there's not like an ACL or an MCL where there's a danger for further damage if you keep playing on it.
Right.
It's just a torn meniscus and it's torn. And that's, oh, yeah, if he can deal with that. But it certainly has to affect you as far as being able to cut, being able to have spin moves, all the things you need to do as a pass rusher.
Right, especially on the edge when you need the bend. The bend, Scott.
Right.
What about the bend?
Gotta have the bend. Gotta have that bend, man.
And you worry about that without having a strong plant foot. Can he only attack from one side? Can he, can he be as effective? Can he be as explosive? And a lot of pass rushing in the NFL is explosion. So
when you dip that shoulder and drive, you've got to be able to have a lot of power in that drive leg, and like you said, it could make him one-handed. It could just make him because you're just not going to be able to come off from the edge and push like that. So I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be interesting. All right. Well, Scott, glad I could get some extra advice out of you there. But that's it.
Happy to help.
5 picks for you, 5 picks for me. I've got Denver, Carolina under, Chicago Jets under, Las Vegas, Seattle over, Rams, Chiefs over, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis under. And you have the Ravens -3.5, Denver, Carolina under 36.5. That's our only agreement this week. Or, I think we agree on a fair amount of them, but that's the only one we both picked. Dolphins -13.5, Seahawks -3.5, and 49ers -8.5. But yeah, I believe that Denver, Carolina game, key in on that. That'll probably be somewhat of a bellwether on how our picks are doing that week.
That's probably very accurate.
Yes. But as always, Scott, I appreciate it. Again, this will go out on Sunday at 11 o'clock. This will get released to YouTube. You guys, though, can see it earlier if you go to patreon.com/opendisaster. You guys, the $5 tier, the Hurricane tier, you get bonus content for Grub Buds. You get this on Saturday, so you can have plenty of time. You can make your picks. You don't have to count on me remembering to unlist it at the right time. And as always, you can go and check out Scott. Scott's over at youtube.com, Winners and Winers, also winnersandwiners.com. But over on YouTube, he's got a show that he does every week. The name of that show is Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas, the story of the rise of the greatest sports betting show of all time. Is it not the story? Am I crazy? It's just the rise of the greatest sports. Oh my God. The rise of the greatest sports betting show of all time.
It's 0 for 11. That's like my
really
picks have been this
year. I'm sick, man. That really.
I want to mention they get bonus content on this show too. You get a lot of non-NFL related ramblings from the two of us on this show. So
that's right. Yeah.
If you want to know what year Mizzou was tied at halftime and ended up losing in the second half of the Big 12 championship game, this is your fucking place to come right here.
Yeah, it's probably also an interesting study on how trauma affects 10-year-olds, because all I remember is getting blown out. I don't even remember them being tied 14-14 at halftime. But I
remember it was damn cold that night.
Right. Yeah, I remember being in a freaking snowsuit trying to warm up. But I remember at 10 years old finding out what it's truly like to be a Mizzou fan, and that was it.
And then I was arrested for child abuse the next day for making you watch that.
Right.
So
then 3 years later, I decided to go to K-State. No relation.
You still get to hate KU. I think it's really the best of both worlds.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, I hate KU. We all hate KU here. All my homies hate KU. No KU this week, especially. Don't even say
Unless you're a Patreon subscriber, then rock chalk to you.
Yeah, then absolutely. Yeah, whatever. I'll cheer for whatever college you like. Whatever, I guess. For $5 a month, I'll say whatever
this
college
week.
you like is good one time.
Yeah, not this week, but as soon as this game is over.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, very good.
All right. Scott, is that it? Oh, twitter.com. Steamroller over there.
Yeah. Sure.
I think that's it. Is that it for all of you?
I got, man.
All right. I appreciate it. Of course, I've been Truman, Steehnmachine, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Open Disaster Productions. I think that's it. I appreciate everybody for being here. I appreciate everybody for showing up. Scott, always appreciate your time. And I appreciate everybody joining us here and joining us next week after they headed back to the window. Thank you. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
We've had enough of this nonsense.